Alright, let's do this.
Once upon a time, calling 911 meant a copper wire, a local cop shop, and maybe a guy with a mustache answering the phone. From rotary dials to cell towers that couldn't find you on a map, the early days of 911 were equal parts genius and chaos. That's coming up next on TiPS, Today in Public Safety.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Here's your host, Fletch, with today's tips.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety. This is Fletch. I'm a certified NENA ENP, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday each week, I bring you the latest news and information about public safety and next generation 911 services and solutions. Today we'll be talking about the early history of 911, from that first call in Alabama in 1968 through the rise of E911, the cell phone chaos years, and the first rumblings of the VoIP revolution that would keep us all on our toes. Part 1 of 2, the birth of 911 and the first 30 years. It all kicked off in Haileyville, Alabama, February 16, 1968. A little central office got rewired, and suddenly you could pick up a phone, dial 3 numbers, and bam, you'd be talking to your local police station. It was simple, direct, and way ahead of its time. From there, cities copied the concept like the latest TikTok dance, each one doing it their own way. There was no national system, no uniform standard, just, does it work here? Good enough. Annie arrives. Eventually, operator displays started showing ANI, automatic number identification, which meant the call taker could see your phone number. If you hung up or got disconnected, they could call back. It was the emergency services version of Star 69, minus the prank calls. The digital breakthrough, fast forward to the 1980s, and Orlando's shiny new ESS5 digital central office. Now we had custom calling features, caller ID, before it was cool, and selective routing, the big brain of 911. This allowed the system to send your call to the right agency automatically. Pair that with ALI, automatic location information, and for the first time, the call taker could confirm your location instead of just begging you to spell your street name 3 times. The cell phone location, curveball. Then, the mid-80s happened. MTV, music videos, plus new cellular phones that introduced our first glimpse of mobility. At first, dispatchers were only shown which cell tower you were near, which could mean you were 2 blocks away or 2 counties away. And if you were roaming, good luck. You might not even have a real callback number. The 90s and E911 expansion. By the 1990s, E911 was expanding fast. Location data for cell phones got better, selective routing was everywhere, and things were starting to feel reliable. Until the internet decided to crash the party like it's 1999. VoIP and the loose tiger. Once the Y2K fear was over, the early 2000s introduced VoIP. This new technology let you take your landline anywhere there was an internet connection. While this was great for remote workers, it was not so great for 911 location reporting. Now your phone number could say New Jersey while you were sipping coffee in California. And once that tiger was out of the cage, it wasn't going back in. The old E911 network began to show its age, and the next chapter, NG911, was waiting in the wings. We'll cover the evolution of VoIP mobility, the birth of the NENA i3 standard, and the evolution to today in part 2 of this series, coming on Friday. That wraps up this episode of TiPS, Today in Public Safety. I hope the podcast was educational for you and you learned something new. If you liked what you heard today, please drop a like and be sure to tell your friends. And don't forget to leave a comment and let us know. If you have any questions or want to suggest a topic of your own, just reach out to me on social media at Fletch911. Who knows, maybe your idea will be at the core of a future podcast. Thanks so much for listening, and if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do every single day. This is Fletch. Stay safe, and we'll catch you next time.
You've been listening to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Hosted by Fletch and available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on 911tips.com. That's 911tips.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to join us each week for the latest on NG 911. I am Spider Harrison, the official 911 voiceover dude. Catch me on Sirius XM on various channels, including 90s on 9, the 10 spot, and on the Weekend Countdown on Hits 1. Or don't regret it for the rest of your life. Either way, I'm good.